There are quite a few steps that we're taking. So we check all of our adverts for inclusive language. So we make sure that our adverts are written in a way that will attract as diverse an audience as possible. We also monitor our in-mail acceptance rate. We try and make sure that our in-mails are being accepted in equal response from men and women. When screening candidates, we use a set of questions that are the same, which gives a more consistent approach. It lets us assess candidates more fairly, and it removes all the bias. And then actually, when even putting the profiles forwards to clients, we make sure that all the personal information that isn't relevant for the role is taken off, so that ultimately candidates are being selected based on their skills and their experience and their talents, rather than any other sort of personal attributes. I studied literature and linguistics at university, so I've always been quite interested in language and how it affects us. And this is really relevant for businesses today, because businesses are focused on attracting and retaining people. And if you look at language, the way that we use language is really the basis for building relationships. It is the basis for marketing, marketing your positions, and it is the basis of attracting candidates to you. Do you think written adverts are essentially branding and marketing for your business and for your role? So the way that you use language can either put people off applying, or it can actually attract them into putting themselves forward. There have been quite a few studies now that listing many attributes as being mandatory for a job within the advert will effectively put a lot of candidates off, mostly women, from applying, because they effectively rule themselves out according to the advert. So a quick trick is really just to write advantageous but not necessary, or advantageous but not mandatory. And small things like this, small tips and tricks with language, can make a really big impact on the amount of applications that you receive from more diverse groups. I think the first step is to be aware, and the only way to do that is to look at your data. For example, with adverts, how many applications are you getting? Are you getting applications from as diverse groups of people as possible? And then looking at how to tweak that. And then with more passive candidates, looking at your in-mail acceptance rate. Are you targeting candidates from as many different backgrounds as possible? And are those people accepting your in-mails? And sort of looking at that data can give you clues as to where you are. And then taking that data and reflecting, you can start to think, where can simple improvements be made? I mean, at EMEA, we are really passionate about this subject, and we have launched consulting now over inclusive linguistics, which is basically a one-to-one session where we will go over key aspects like, job adverts, how to write adverts in ways that attract more diverse groups of people, and really try and problem solve and troubleshoot some of these areas with our key clients, because this is a big area really, and an area where clients have really come to us for advice and for insight. This might be a really interesting session, maybe for talent acquisition, and of course for hiring managers themselves too. Yeah, there are just quite a few simple tools and tricks that we would be really happy to share, definitely, on this.